You know, in the world of medicine, some drugs are just legendary. They're the big guns, the last line of defense. And then there's Amphotericin B. This is a drug with a reputation so dramatic, it's almost a myth. It's a complete lifesaver that's also famously incredibly dangerous.
So that's the big question, right? How can one single medicine be considered the gold standard and, at the same time, be so notoriously toxic? It's a fascinating paradox, and it's exactly what we're going to unpack in this explainer. To really get why this drug is such a big deal, we have to rewind the clock a bit. Just imagine a time when doctors had almost no weapons against these really nasty, deadly fungal infections. I mean, getting one was often a death sentence. And then, this drug came along, a discovery that completely changed the game.
Now, what's wild about this timeline is just how long it's been around. Think about how much medicine has changed since the 1950s. We've had the genomic revolution, targeted therapies, mRNA vaccines, the whole shebang. And yet this one drug, which was discovered in soil of all places, is still a cornerstone of treatment over 70 years later. That right there is an incredible testament to its raw, undeniable power.
And just look at its hit list. We are not talking about minor stuff here. This is the absolute worst of the worst, the most severe, life-threatening infections you can imagine. From invasive aspergillosis to that infamous black fungus, mucormycosis, and it even takes on a parasite. This one drug can go up against a whole rogues gallery of microscopic killers.
So how in the world does it do it? Well, the secret is in its method of attack, which is both brilliant and, honestly, pretty brutal. Let's dig into how this drug actually works on a molecular level.
So here's the attack plan. It's basically a molecular hole puncher. It's that simple. Step 1. It seeks out a molecule called ergosterol, which is a key building block of the fungal cell's outer wall, and it just latches on tight. Step 2. The drug molecules all team up and literally punch a hole, a pore, straight through that protective membrane. And the final step? Total chaos. The cell's guts leak out, the whole thing collapses, and the fungus is destroyed. It's an incredibly direct and devastating assault.
Okay, so you're probably asking, well, why doesn't it do the same thing to our cells? And that is the million-dollar question. It all comes down to this one crucial difference. Fungal cells use ergosterol. Our cells use cholesterol. Think of Amphotericin B as a key. For the ergosterol lock on fungal cells, it is a perfect fit. Slides right in, turns, and the door is blown off its hinges. Now, it can also fit into our cholesterol lock, but it's a really bad fit. It has to kind of jiggle and force it. And that little imperfection, that jiggle, is everything. It's both the reason it works and the reason it's so darn dangerous.
But that imperfect fit we just talked about, its ability to jiggle open the lock on our own cells, well, that's the hero's dangerous flaw. The drug's immense power isn't precise, and that collateral damage comes at a pretty significant cost to the patient.
And we're not talking about a minor side effect here. Its toxicity is legendary. Seriously. In the medical world, the side effects of Amphotericin B are absolutely infamous. It's something every single doctor learns to respect and manage very, very carefully.
The first hit comes almost immediately, like during the IV infusion itself. The body can just freak out, kicking off what's called a cytokine storm. We're talking fever, chills, really violent shivering known as rigors, nausea, vomiting. It is a rough ride for the patient, right from the very start.
But the real danger, the one that truly limits how much of this drug doctors can even use, is its effect on the kidneys. This is the big one. It directly harms the tiny tubes in the kidneys, and that causes a whole cascade of problems. Kidney function markers spike, you start losing critical electrolytes like potassium and magnesium, and it can even suppress your body's ability to make red blood cells, which leads to anemia. This kidney damage, this nephrotoxicity, is the central challenge of using this drug.
So you've got this incredibly powerful but really dangerous weapon. For decades, the puzzle was, how do we use it effectively? And the answer came from some pretty brilliant scientific thinking, a way to package the power, to finally tame the beast.
And this is how they did it. Lipid formulations. It's a fancy term, but the idea is actually simple and genius. So, imagine the original drug was like a powerful soldier sent into battle on foot, just causing damage everywhere. These new formulations put that soldier inside an armored delivery truck. This fatty, stealth vehicle shields the kidneys from the drug, delivering its payload much more directly to the site of infection.
This table really shows that evolution perfectly. First, you have the original, fungizone. Its key trait? Effective but highly toxic. That was the trade-off doctors had to make. But now, look at the other two, ambisome and ablicet. These are the newer lipid versions. They use the exact same drug, but notice their key trait, significantly less nephrotoxic. By packaging the drug differently, science figured out how to deliver all its power while dramatically cutting down the damage to the kidneys. It made the drug a much safer and way more effective tool.
So with all these newer, safer antifungal drugs out there, you might be wondering why we're even still talking about this old guard. It's because even with all its flaws, Amphotericin B remains absolutely essential.
There's this quote that just captures it perfectly. Its role has evolved, but not diminished. It might not be the first choice in every case anymore, but its importance is as great as it ever was.
And this is exactly why. There are specific, high-stakes situations where literally nothing else will do. For that deadly mucormycosis infection, it's the undisputed #1 drug. It's the critical salvage therapy when other drugs have failed. It's what doctors choose when they need to kill a fungus, and they need to do it fast. And for so many of the most vulnerable, immunocompromised patients, this is truly the last line of defense.
Which brings us right back to our central question. In an age of targeted therapies and all these new medicines, why does this 70-year-old drug remain so essential? The answer really lies in its raw, unfiltered power. It's a power so immense that it can be dangerous, for sure. But sometimes, that's exactly what's needed to pull a patient back from the brink.